Hey, good morning, family. This is Reginald Martin, aka Kuakaru, so founder of Comedic Center Living, and out on my walk this morning, and just had some thoughts that came to me. I guess a person came to me that caused some thoughts. So it's this. My channel, obviously, is well, not obvious. My channel is really about helping people to overcome negative Christian programming because it really is a path to limitation, is what I've found. And invariably, I'll get a type of Christian that will come to my channel and say something like, man, you're always picking on Christianity. Why don't you say something about Islam or other religions, And I find that interesting because the mindset to me is like, dude, I know Christianity is effed up, but why don't you say something about these other religions because they just as effed up too? That's what I imagine in my mind, because I understand that mentality, okay? And but at any rate, it's really it's kind of funny to me, but it's really sad too, because the person just doesn't get what is happening to them when they're within Christianity. I'm talking about really mindset, and I really want you guys to understand my channel is truly more about mindset than anything, okay? Because that's I want you to live life boldly, authentically, unapologetically, and on your terms without guilt or shame, okay? All of that is about mindset, okay? And through my experience, the reason why, and I got to answer this person, the reason why I talk about Christianity is because I've lived it, okay? And I know firsthand what that mentality and how living a Christian belief system impacts myself. It impacted me a certain way. I know how it impacted my family, and I know how it impacted people in my community. So I know on a firsthand basis what Christianity has done in the communities that I grew up in and the people in those communities, okay? So that's number one. That's the reason why I am constantly addressing Christianity, because I want the people that grew up like me and the people that have been Christian like me, they understand and become aware of the impact of that negative religious programming, okay? So let's take in case in point, okay? I'm going to talk about a couple of aspects here. So there's two things that everyone that has ever been Christian has to believe in order to be accepted as a Christian, okay? And understand that they had to be coupled together, all right? Doctrine-wise, Christian doctrine-wise, they had to be coupled together. And that is the idea of the fall of mankind, okay? Meaning that we're all born sinners. And since we're all born sinners, we needed something or someone to absolve us from that state of being. And that was Jesus, okay? So those two things. So in other words, Christianity invented a freaking disease, okay, called original sin, and then created the cure, okay? That's from my understanding, from my research and study. This is what I know to be true, okay? So from that perspective, my content is helping you, the people who are ready to unlearn those at least two negative ideas that produce a whole frame of thought, a whole negative frame of thought. okay? And because you live this frame of thought, you live in a certain way that ends up producing a very limited life, okay? You end up living inside a box of limitation and beliefs that are usually so negative that they cause you to limit your life. They cause you to limit your relationships. They cause you to limit your career. They cause you to limit your business, okay? Now, how can I say this? How can I make such a statement like that? I mean, just a belief in original sin? How can I make that statement? All right, well, let's unpack that. So original sin is the belief that you're a born sinner, and through Christianity, the teaching is that all mankind is born wicked, okay? We're all born sinful. That means that from the beginning, you haven't even done anything on the earth. You haven't even taken your first crap in your diaper, and you already wrong. You already messed up, you know? That's crazy, all right? It's absolutely crazy to even consider that. Now, let's look at that belief in the context of the mentality that it produces. Because what ends up happening if you ingest that belief into your mindset that I'm a born sinner, then it automatically produces negative self-talk within your mentality and within your psyche, automatically. Now, we could add on top of that the idea of being humble, you know? And what ends up happening is that people who believe that I am a born sinner, they will invariably talk about, yes, I'm a wretch, you know, I'm a filthy rag, I can do nothing without God, and these negative affirmations, or what I call them, because you're affirming the negativity about yourself, are something that is ingested every single Sunday. And I know this from experience going to my church and going to other churches, Christian churches, on Sunday, that these ideas were talked about all the time, okay? Now, if you believe those ideas, then the next step is that you're going to have an attitude of fear of failure. And what does that mean? Fear of failure means that you don't want to fail at something. You fear failing at something because it obviously is going to confirm whatever negative belief that you have about yourself, okay? So when you have that fear of failure, that means you don't even try, okay? Most people that have that fear of failure don't even try something. To me, this is linked to why many of the communities that I grew up in, okay, basically had a lot of people that were living in poverty. And they were living in poverty because you have to have poverty as a mindset. Again, I know that through experience, and it's something that I've had to overcome. It is an absolute mindset. And fear of failure is a definite part of that mindset. So if you have that belief that you are a born sinner, there's a whole lot of other tentacle beliefs, is what I call them, that string down from that belief. All right? So when I'm talking about Christianity, I'm not just attacking the religion just to attack the religion, okay? I'm talking about the mindset that this religion produces. And I know what it produced in my community. I know what it produced in me. And I know what it produced for the people in my family that were close to me that lived these ideas, all right? So just that alone is a deterrent for people wanting to live in a way that they can live through their joy and express themselves in different ways that just brings joy into their life. Now, even on top of that, Christianity teaches that on some level, to really enjoy life, you might be a sinner, or you might be sinning because you don't want to enjoy life too much. Because if you're enjoying it too much, then that probably means you're doing something wrong. Again, just assuming that you're born wicked and that every individual that is doing something is just going to end up doing something wicked, because we're born that way, according to Christianity. You end up teaching, Christianity also teaches that if people are not believers like us, they don't believe like us, then they're most likely the enemy. You cannot trust anybody that does not believe like us. That ends up putting a wedge between you and anybody who does not accept your belief. It ends up producing a whole mindset of intolerance. All right. So again, I'm going back to the mindset here. I'm not trying to attack Christianity per se. I'm talking about a mindset that is produced through Christianity, produced through these beliefs. And I don't know how many times I hear people say, well, you can't blame the religion for what people do. Hell, it's because of the religion is the reason why people do what they do. It's because of the mindset. It's because of the beliefs and doctrines that are taught that they do. You cannot separate the religion from the person. It's impossible because the religion produces the person. The religion produces the mindsets. All right. So I don't care to pick on Christianity, but what I do care is to make people aware of the mindset that it produces and the negative programming that it produces. I want people in the communities that I grew up in, I want people to be entrepreneurs and start different businesses in that community that lift that community, to make the community economically self-sustaining. Okay? I see all around the world where there are people that have more freaking churches in the community than businesses. I remember in my neighborhood, and this is no exaggeration, I could walk in 4 directions in my neighborhood and I could pass at least 2 churches within, say, 5 miles. I could walk 5 miles in any direction and I could pass at least 2 churches. At least. Most of the time, I didn't even have to walk 5 blocks and I could pass 2 churches. Okay? But everything in those communities, most of the people in those communities lived in poverty or were very poor. But the churches were doing well. Okay? So again, Mr. Christian person or Miss Christian person, I'm not trying to attack Christianity, just to attack Christianity. That's not what I'm about. That's a low vibrational pursuit. I'm wanting to raise the vibration of humanity. That's why I do what I do. And if you are so blinded by your belief, you'll never understand what I'm talking about because you don't want to. I don't care to change your mind. I'm talking to the people who want to change and who want to elevate consciously. That's what I do. All right? So family, my thing is how do we produce a growth mindset, okay? Because a fear of failure mindset is definitely one built on limitations. But a growth mindset is one that is built on the belief that you can achieve, that you can do the things that you need to achieve what you want in your life, So that's ultimately where I'm taking the content and the information that I'm doing on this channel is I'm infusing in you the belief that you can do more if you want, you know? In other words, it's having a growth mindset and a belief in you as a creator and the creator of your world and your life. All right, family, this is Reginald Kuakaru, Reginald Martin, aka Kuakaru, and I am signing out. Y'all have an amazing day, okay?